Hi you guys, my name is Tamika and this is my channel Tamika Uploaded. I will be doing my top 10 favorite books of 2016. This was a hard list to do because I had a really good reading year. I read over 101 books last year and I loved so many of those books. I actually had to do 5 honorable mentions, and so since we have really 15 books to cover, let's get right into it. Number 10, and this could have been much higher on my list, and that is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I love that book. I love the intrigue. I was scared, and what's so great is that this book is definitely in horror without being gory, without being overly mature, like just the fear alone of the unknown and just jumping back and just not knowing who's gonna live, who's not gonna live, what's out there, what's going on. Like, it just kept me on the edge of my seat and it scared the bejesus out of me every moment. This is an awesome book. If you've not read it, I highly recommend that you do. Number 9, Danielle Page's The Wicked Will Rise. That one was, I think, my favorite out of all 3 books. It had the most intrigue, it had the best fighting sequences, it had the best story, I think, of all. Like, so much was revealed and so much happened and so much character development that it just blew me away. The Wicked Will Rise by Danielle Page, loved it. Number 8. Now, this book was one that was told to me many times. You have to read this book. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna blow you away. It's mad crazy, and if you like crazy, weird, creepy, you're gonna love this book, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. I read it, I loved it. Everybody's right about it. If you haven't read it, go read it. It is so weird, so creepy, and it was just a great twist on, like, I guess these thriller suspense kind of books with just the tad bit of humor that just keeps you going throughout the entire book, even though this is a book about a stalker, and we're watching him stalk someone and all the manipulation that he goes to get this girl. Like, it's the craziest love story I've ever read. Number 7, this is a book I've talked about before, and everyone who I recommended to read it to that actually went to go read it told me they loved it and we're so glad they did. And that book is Starflight by Marissa. It is the book that reminds me of Firefly, and come to find out that was the inspiration for the book, yes! And so was Goldie Hawn's Overboard, also inspiration for the book, yes! And I'm so glad to know it's in a series because I cannot wait to read the second book. So it was so phenomenal. It really just put me into like that sci-fi mood that set it for the rest of the year. I was like, yes, space. Number 6, I read 2 books by the same author and they were both phenomenal. I couldn't decide which one, which is a cheat, and that is Jennifer Naveen. Jennifer Naveen wrote All the Right Places and she wrote Holding Up the Universe. I read them both. I bawled my eyes out in All the Right Places, but Holding Up the Universe just uplifted me in ways that you just wouldn't believe. If you're in the mood to read a contemporary, this not your old regular love story, I really would suggest giving Holding Up the Universe a chance, and definitely All the Right Places if you're emotionally ready. Number 5. It was hard to place this one because, again, I read a whole bunch of books from this one particular series and I decided on my favorite, and that was Fairest by Marissa, Meyer. I loved all the books, and you know Cinder was like my favorite book of last year, but Fairest blew me away. It was a wonderful How One Became a Villain story. I loved it so much. Marissa Meyer really just stole the ball, okay, on telling a good villain story, okay, and that one did it for me. It is not a side story, it is not a prequel, it is a book you gotta read to enjoy the rest of the books. I'm telling you, read Fairest if you haven't done it. I promise you it will blow you away as much as it blew me away if you like the rest of the Lunar Chronicle series. Number 4, Stole My Heart. I shipped them so hard, and I hate that I don't own this book, but I just loved it so much, and that is Adstotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Who didn't love this book, right? Like, who didn't love this book? It It's so endearing. It's a wonderful coming of age story. It brought a tear to my eye for several times, and I just love just seeing how two people can come together, drift apart, and still find their way back to each other. Just a beautiful story. And if you haven't read it, where have you been? Please rock Remove Itself, and I'm gonna need you to go read that book. Read that book. Third one, depending upon who knows me, this won't come to a surprise. I read this book 3 times last year, and I'm not a person who likes to reread books, but I read this 3 times last year, and that was A Court of Mist and Fury. I had so much fun with this book. Some people a lot of people I think hated this book. A lot of people don't care for the series in general, but for me, I had fun, I loved it, and I'm glad I own it, and it was money well spent. I am the one, Number 2. This is what high fantasy literature looks like. This is good writing. This is where people are trying to come to, okay? This was the book where I thought it was gonna be boring. I had zero anticipation about this book. I was kind of on the bandwagon reading this, like, oh, everybody's reading it, I guess I should read it too. And that was Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and let me tell you, that is such a well-written book. I love how he creates his world. I love how he creates his magic system. It's so complex, yet very simple. And then on top of that, he had a great story. It was a heist story. But then we had a whole kingdom involved, and it was just like, whoa. You know, just whoa. It's a book that I'm excited about rereading again before I go further on. I can't wait to actually finish up the whole Mistborn trilogy. And let me tell you, if you haven't started it and you're scared, I was scared, do it. Just do it. Do it piece by piece, and I promise you'll start sucking you in, and you'll have it complete before you know it. My number 1 book, for some people will come to no surprise, It by Stephen King. I know a lot of you do not like horror. I know a lot of you do not like clowns. And so this book disgusts you, and that's okay. That is okay. But what I am telling you is definitely one of my favorite books by Stephen King. It was the first book I read by him, so I am biased in that. But also I love the TV miniseries, and to read the book and find out, oh my gosh, all this stuff happened. This book is legit, okay? It is scary, it is nasty, it is gruesome, it is everything that people are like, that's why I don't watch horror. Like, it is everything. And the dialogue's amazing, the character's amazing. The ones I hate, I love. The ones I love more. Like, it's just so much going on in this book. And that book actually was an inspiration for me to like lose weight. Isn't that crazy? It's my number 1 book. I understand if you don't care for it, but it was my number 1 book of 2016, and still one of my favorite books to read, period. So really quickly, I'm going to go into my honorable mentions, and that is Everything by Nicole Yoon. Violence by Libra Bray was the Lock and Key series. It's by Joe Hill, you know, Stephen King's son. Don't worry if you didn't like one book, just keep reading it, because it all comes together and it's all amazing. 4th book is another Sarah J. Maas book, and that is Queen of Shadows. I was trying to decide. I read a lot of her books actually last year, and I decided Queen of Shadows was probably my favorite out of them all. Like, because Air Fire was meh to me. People loved Air Fire. People came back for Air Fire. Said Air Fire is my favorite book out of the entire series, and that's good, boo-boo. Queen of Shadows was mine. And this last book was out of nowhere, actually. Tara Matharu, The Novice, and I really, really enjoyed that book. Books, they're journeys, and every journey I go on, I appreciate. And so I'm glad that these authors create these books and these worlds that I could appreciate. And really enjoyed everything I read, and I'm just so excited about 2017. Like, this is gonna be another awesome year, y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. I love you as always. Bye.